Lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Yes, guys, welcome back to Onto the Ball. It's me, your host, Scott, joined as always by James O.B. O'Brien for every Liverpool podcast we ever do. O.B., I can't remember a single week in the life of a Liverpool fan that's been as good as this. Top of the league in Champions League, top of the league in the Premier League, beat Real Madrid at home, beat Manchester City 2-0 at home, absolutely schooling these teams along the way, if you don't mind me saying so myself, but life could not be better at the minute. Josh Truguna is straight in. How you doing, Josh? You okay? It's looking like a two-horse race, Josh, for the Premier League title. We've just put Manchester City firmly into the fight for top four only. Fair play, lads. This season is mad so far. Unbelievable start so far. Unbelievable indeed. OB, how are you feeling, mate, after this week?
This isn't a title race. This is a title procession at this point. I am in, you know? It's like we would have to drop off a cliff and someone else would have to match our 12, 13 games, or 13 games, isn't it, in order to pull it back. Now, for me, that performance today was just unbelievable. It was just, the first 20 minutes, we broke the hearts. And I know it was only 1-0 after that period, and we're thinking we need another goal. They were broken. And even when they were coming back, they put pressure on themselves. They were trying to chase the game down. And we're so good defensively. It's just, it was never in doubt. It should have been probably 5 or 6-0. Salah missed a big chance for his 1-on-1. You know what I mean? There was a couple of other chances that we probably should have scored. Slot said himself after the game, you know, I'm not really one for listening to him, but I did. He said it wasn't perfect, but it was really good. Now, if we hit perfection,
I'm loving this guy more and more, OB.
Someone is getting it. Someone is getting it, and that's it. I mean, we're absolutely on it. I mean, in all seriousness, a bit of a word of warning here. We can't get...
You've just declared us winners of the Premier League, OB. You can't be throwing in a word of warning now, mate.
Well, the word of warning is, I don't know what the word of warning is. Doesn't matter, does it? We're going to win it anyway.
Listen, the word of warning was is that second half went on. The longer it stayed 1-0, I started thinking, well, me and Obi will go on the stream later, and I can already picture myself saying, look, a 1-1 draw at home to Man City is still more drop points for them. I started talking myself into this is going to go 1-1 after the fantastic start and after us bigging up how well Liverpool are doing. Man City are at 6s and 7s. I started adjusting it in my head. And then when Salah went through on that 1-on-1, it was still 1-0 then, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh, my God, Mo Salah. I mean, on the last stream we done, I give him the big talk. I said he's just so on it, so focused at the minute. Him missing the penalties against Bournemouth and Arsenal last season, that is not happening ever again. He misses a penalty against Real Madrid. I said his one-on-ones, he looks so clinical. And then that was a Nunes-type finish today on that one-on-one.
It's only just too high, Scott. He actually got where he was putting the ball right in his head. He just hit it a little bit too high. It was only just off target. It was really close. I think from a Salah perspective, Salah was, for a 15, 20-minute period again today, absolutely unplayable. I could live with him 15, 20 minutes and then put up with the rest of that stuff because the cross for the goal, now my two boys were absolutely convinced that was actually a shot and it went across the goal and Gakpo just happened to be there because of the way Salah is. But for me, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think it was a cross and I think it was put into a danger area and we were just all over them. We were warding them at one point. They couldn't get out. They didn't know what to do. And then the beauty of it all was we then went into a phase of play where we kind of matched them all over the park from sort of 20 minutes to like 45. And then in the second half, we let them have the ball. So we almost played the game in 3 different phases to go, this is what we're going to do at this part. This is how we're going to play the next 20 minutes. This is how we're going to play the next half an hour. And we've just got the ability. We can defend. We can even bring on like centre-backs at full-back and put a full-back at centre-back and we still look as solid as we did before. You know, it's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And what you've got to remember is, and people will talk about injuries and we've been this and that and the other, and we haven't had many injuries yet, and we've had injuries to key players. We're missing 2 starters today, and the 2 starters are Jota and Alisson.
Do you know what? Is it not even more than that? Because everyone's been harping on about all Man City's injuries. And then when I looked on my usual flash score app, I looked up and I thought, I tell you what, we're missing more. Right. So they've got Bob, who's that? Oscar Bob, Kovacic, Rodri, and Stones.
Yeah.
Any more? We're missing Alisson, Connor Bradley, Chiesa, Diogo Jota, Kanate, and Tsimikas.
Yeah.
You could argue all 6 of them would start. Maybe not Connor Bradley, but the others.
I don't
Tsimikas has been getting games over Robertson. So we've actually got 6 out. They've got 4. And I don't even hear anyone harping on about our injuries at the minute. They keep harping on about Man City and Arsenal when they were missing a few. No one even goes on about our injuries.
No. And that's because the players that have come in have just taken it so wildly. I think I put a piece in our group chat earlier about Cody Gakpo, but I just want to kind of start on that guy drifts in and out of the team. Now, I personally think he should play, and you know that, Scott, and I think
we've both said that the last couple of weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, but he goes out the team, and he didn't start against Madrid. He comes on, he scores, right? So he gets a start today, but he goes off on 70 minutes or whatever, but he puts his absolute heart into it. He won every ball in the air. He was the outlet ball for when we're in trouble. Play the ball in the air. He outjumps Walker, so he's good in the air. He's 6'1", whatever he is, 6'2". Good in the air, good on the ground, technical ability, can bring the ball down, got pace to burn. He is just a complete outlet ball in that right type of game. And playing him today was a masterstroke. Now, I don't know what Cody Gakpo's overall fitness is like, but I suspect that there's probably something that they like to limit his minutes. Now, I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, that's fine. If they're going to leave him out of that game on Wednesday night, bring him on at the end, and then start him today and take him off to 70 minutes, and he's been that effective. But what a professional. Just his attitude, his behaviour, the fact of the goal. I mean, and on telly, they're talking about Walker not tracking back.
We're going to get on to Walker, Obi. Yeah. Have you seen the film Cocoon? Have you seen the film Cocoon? It's almost like how he's aged overnight. Kyle Walker's gone from the England right back, potentially the best right back in the league. I've even seen calls that he's the best right back of all time.
Yeah.
And in the last month or two, since Adama Traore burned him for pace, he's been horrific.
Yeah, but
he was our best player today.
Yeah, he was terrible. But what they did was we picked on him. We picked on Akanji at one point early on. We went after him, and then we started going after Walker. And what I think Slot did was he put him out there and said the outlet ball is in the air, and Cody will always beat him in the air, and he'll turn him and he'll spin him, and he's not as quick as he used to be. Now, to your point, absolutely right. He's been burned by Traore. He's been burned by Werner. It was a 50-50 with him and Diaz today, and he wasn't.
Did you see it in that second half?
Yeah.
Even Diaz beat him, and he ain't the fastest.
No, he's not. And Cody was causing him problems. It's really strange. I mean, the thing is, I've never rated him as a thinking man's footballer. He always just had the pace to be able to cope with it. So if he was out of position, he'd have the pace, he'd get back. Now he hasn't got the pace. He's being exposed for what he actually is, which is a guy that always had pace. You know what I mean?
Positionally naive. Yeah, exactly. And used his pace to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah, he did. And now it's gone. He doesn't, and that's it. And
he's just positionally naive.
Yeah, exactly. And did you see, was it Ruben Diaz having a go at him?
Yeah.
After the goal, saying, why don't you track him? And you can actually see what they were saying. They were holding their face, but they got them from the wrong angle. And he goes, what were you doing? He goes, I didn't see him. He come from behind me. But he should know that. And you can see Diaz going, you should know.
His head was probably scrambled because they were in the Anfield tumble dryer by then, weren't they? That first 20 minutes, I mean, it was ferocious. I was really worried we're not going to keep up them energy levels for the full 90, especially after our exertions against Real Madrid on Wednesday night, which is one of the finest games of football that I can think of for many a year. I said in our Liverpool group chat, that Real Madrid, I can't think of a more complete performance than that. Probably, I obviously would all point to the Liverpool 4, Barcelona 0 game. Of course, that was magic. But probably I'd say the Man City semi-final in the FA Cup, where we raced into a 3-0 lead after half an hour. I mean, that game was just superb. That's probably the best I've seen play since that game, and that's been a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the overall way that we're playing, we've just got the ability to do whatever we need to do. So Slot hasn't changed the team an awful lot, but he knows that we can mix it up and we can play different ways. And we're literally doing it in little phases in the game, as alluded to today. And also against Real Madrid, there was points where we sat back and went, we can defend tight, bring you on, and we'll counter you. So it's almost like we're playing in a number of different ways. And we did it in the second half today. We just dropped back. We let them have all the ball. There were stats coming up going, they've had all the ball. They've got 70-odd% possession. We've had one touch in their half or their box or whatever in the last 20 minutes. But that was fine. He was comfortable with that. The team didn't panic on the pitch. He didn't panic. He just said, we'll catch them. We'll know that they'll push and push and push. And the more the pressure of being 1-0 down, the more they pushed, and then the chances just started opening up. It's amazing to see. Our midfield, Scott, wow.
I've started having a little word with myself. Like we've been slating Szoboszlai. It seems a bit of is it a lazy thing to say that he doesn't get enough goals? But if you think of when we were at our peak under Jurgen Klopp, 2018, 19, 20, our biggest asset was our midfield, and no one ever expected Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Milner on occasions to be in the goals because you've got our front three. Maybe we're being a little bit critical of Szoboszlai because he was so energetic today, all over the park. And then you've got Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch filling in. We don't need goals from them when we've got goals from the front three who are picking from any of 5 or 6 if you're including Chiesa. But yeah, our midfield, and especially Gravenberch. I mean, where's this guy come from? He's like Yaya Toure reincarnated.
Yeah, he really is. Scott, your mic sounds a bit odd. It sounds
like I can hear it myself.
A bit like a Dalek every time you're talking.
Hello?
And yeah, it's still happening.
It's weird, isn't it? Let me make sure I'm on the microphone. But yeah, Gravenberch, Obi, he's just incredible.
The thing is, he's taking the ball in really tight spaces. His first touch, I think we talked about it in the last podcast, is as good as I've seen anybody. I think his ability to be in the right position, positionally, he's absolutely sound. It's his turn of pace, so he brings himself on a perfect half turn loads and loads of times. His scanning's really good because you have to have that scanning ability in that defensive midfield position. And he is just absolutely cruising through football games. What they did in the second half, and Guardiola did this quite purposely, was he changed the way City played at halftime, and they basically stopped that pass into Gravenberch. And that's the way that teams are going to start trying to stop us. Now, Slot's going to have to obviously think about that and think about how we play a different way and we'll play a different ball. You know what I mean? When we go down the sides of teams, if we're really going to squeeze. But they literally put a man on him and they man-marked him, which is berserk. You think about a defensive midfielder being man-marked. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Just absolutely.
I can still hear that crackling, OB. Let me leave and then come back once.
Right, okay.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're still
there. It sounds dreadful. There's no point in carrying on, mate. It sounds absolutely dreadful. We'll try and come back on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All good.
Okay. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.